or Latinos. Then the other day she was late to church and she was coming out the garage, and the lady came in there and jumped in our garage and she wouldn't come out. So you know she's grim, she thinks she's a social worker. So she stopped the car and I would have probably kept going and then hit the button and locked her in there. But she said, "What do you want? You know, what do you want? What's the matter?" The girl said, "My husband is trying to kill me and I need some place to hide. And I want you to pull to the end of the driveway and check and see if you see a blue car. And if you do, let me know. And when that blue car go, I'm leaving." Well, the woman stayed in there about 10, 15 minutes. About 10 to 15 minutes. And then so she was late to church. So she said, "I'm sorry, I missed the introduction of praise and worship or whatever was going on." Well, she was doing church, but she was protecting that woman from getting beat up. Touching people. A lot of times we want to be at the service on time. We want to be a stickler for being on time. But if I can help somebody as I travel along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, that'll be in your place. Yeah. If I can tell somebody where they're going wrong, then my living won't be in vain. You hear me? It's touching people, not a rehearse, but the love of God that's in us is supposed to come out and touch somebody else. People used to cook dinner when people died. They would all go over there until after the funeral. They would actually go cook and clean the person's house. Didn't have a lot of words, didn't talk a lot, just went in there and did some service. That's touching somebody, right? We pass by people, when I pass down on Broadway, it's so many homeless folks over there. Right, God gave me the job to be a homeless person. You know, working with this. It's 84,000 people on the street at night. You know, and then we go home and we got half of this and half of that and a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. You know, if we get to get in the bed and say, "Thank you, Lord." But there are a lot of people, thank you, Lord. There are a lot of people that are out there that need a touch from a Christian. Now, isn't it amazing that Jesus didn't have nowhere to live? He wasn't homeless, and he wasn't hopeless, but he did his work unlimited on the streets. And everywhere he went, he brought a crowd. He never had no church, but he had a multitude. If he would have got a building, y'all hear me? If he got a building, he would have had a strong congregation of individuals that wanted something he had. Now, here's the thing about the individuals. Everybody go to church and come in there for the word. A lot of the people that followed him and came to him came because he was giving them something. Well, Jesus never got mad. Did he ever get mad? No. He never get mad because they were asking for something from him. They weren't mad. They weren't mad because he would give the word, he'd bring them out, draw them out, the word got out, and they turn around and say, "Well, you know, we heard about a man in the city. There's a man in the city, he give sight to the blind." You heard that, so there's a stranger in the city, and he's healing. I just got the news this morning, right? So we sing those songs, but we don't touch nobody. So that stranger touches us, and then we don't touch nobody else. So if you're not touching nobody, you ain't worth nothing. You ain't no good. You're not good for nothing. That's the old country word, huh? You ain't good for nothing. Ain't that something you tell your grandkids? We probably tell your kids, your grandkids act right. It's the first generation and they want to kill them. They're the ones that don't do nothing. Am I right? And the grandkids, you know, they'll come and help you. Man, they can't get rid of them, can you? They love you and all that. So they touch you. Can I help you, Nanny? Can I help you not? They just say, you know, can I do something, whatever. So my whole point is that with them, we teach them how to touch and how to love, and we caress them. We teach them how to caress each other and love, and they're easy to love, and this is real true. They're easy to love because they don't fight you. Right. But we still gotta love that first generation that's experiencing life, trying to figure out how to go. We gotta love them. So Jesus never, Freddie Moody preached a sermon and said, 3 things God don't know. I can say, what? 3 things God don't know. He don't know no sinner he won't love. He don't know no sinner he won't save. And he don't know no saint that he won't help. Wow. He don't know that. He don't know how to say no. We have to learn not to just say yes to our own kinfolk, but say yes to everybody around us. Because in Proverbs it says God will give you favor with God and man. Go to the bank, you might have an overdraft protection. give you favor and leave that $35 charge. When you touch somebody, it comes back. I was just telling Rachel, she said, Daddy, I'm just leaving tired of the hospital, and I'm fussing about Bibles. And I said, oh yeah, what's wrong? She said, well, I'm right by my house. Can't somebody else teach Bible study? I said, present your body a living sacrifice.
That's right.
Hope. She finished the verse. So she said, you there? I said, no, let that marinate for a while. So by the time I got down the road, she said, well, I'm on the 60. I said, no, get on the 10. Get on the 71, or get on the 57, hit the 10. Because going into LA is not that bad at nighttime. The traffic is going up. And I said, so I'll see you when you get there. If I'm going to be late, I said, well, I'd rather have the kids than you have a little late teacher. I said, if you don't want the church to keep talking about that they bring their kids, their children, and you're not there. You promote something, so your salt has to be good. And she said, well, I said, name the kid you think will come. She said, Paul. I said, that's enough right there. So the thing about it is that Jesus always thought an individual was important. An individual was really important to him. You ever see him rebuking anybody? Even Judas. He told Judas to go quickly. Do what you have to do. Because he knew that he would go die. And if Judas didn't play his part, he couldn't play his part and get betrayed and die. And all that was to do what? He didn't want to die. Because in the Garden of Gethsemane, what did he say? Lord, I did this bitter cup and fasting fire. I really don't want to do it. But if it's going to glorify you, nail my hands, rip my feet. Ain't that something? Because he wanted to touch somebody. And then when he was on the cross, dying, then one man looked over, hey, want to go over here to the left. The one on the left got smart. You know what he said? Well, since you the Son of Man, if you the Son of Man, won't you go on and cut loose and come on, cut me loose?
All right.
Let's get out and dodge. I heard they do miracles. Jesus just turned his head. Kept on dying. Looked over and saw a man over there that dropped his head. He said, hey. The man said, yeah, how you doing? We over here hanging out? Yeah, we hanging. What do you want? He said, well, I tell you what. When you get to your kingdom, remember me. And the old preacher said, he stopped dying. And said, today thou shalt be with me in paradise. He got that last one.
Okay.
Hello? Stephen was stoned to death. Stephen said, Lord, I commit my spirit into you, into thy hands. You know why he said I commended? He didn't say I committed. He said I commended. Why? Because if you commend it, he's going to give you on the other side. He said, take my spirit out, let it go into heaven, which means that if his spirit were taken out, he was going to die. And so once he died, once he would die, he would go to the Father's house. And guess who was there holding his coat? Saul was there, also known as Paul. Right? But Stephen said, I'm going to touch somebody. And it really bothered Peter down the road when he got converted because he found out what he really did. And that's why when you read his epistles, he's always confessing about how he was just a no good sinner. So God let you get past it. But that becomes a stepping stone for you to say, I ain't going to do that no more. Anybody know about life lessons?
Yeah.
But it's a bigger thing is when you learn spiritual lessons. When you go to bed at night, you can't get no sleep. It ain't because you had a cup of coffee. Hello, right? You go to bed, sometimes you lay there and you're rapping and you start going over stuff and going there. That's God conscious. Everybody say God conscious. The Spirit speaks to you, and that's God's gatekeeper for your soul. So when you have that, you can't get it's just something you say, I don't know what it is. You ain't sick, but you don't feel good. Hello, right? The man says sleep won't come, and early in the morning. Then you sit there and you finally say, Lord, now, like with Samuel. Remember Samuel? I'm giving y'all the background on how it worked. We touched somebody. Samuel was staying in the house with Eli. Eli had 2 rapist sons that raped the women when they came to the sanctuary, and Eli was a priest. Samuel got dropped off by Hannah. Remember Hannah? Hannah couldn't have a baby.
All right.
Hannah went there and prayed to the Lord. The man said she was drunk. Why are you there drunk? She said, I ain't drunk. I'm talking to the Lord. She went out the door. He said, oh yeah, by the way, the Lord wants you to know. Now first he called her drunk, now he want to prophesy. That always confused me. That's how Christians supposed to do you. They beat you up, then they want to help you. Once he realized that she wasn't falling for the okie doke, then what happened? Bible said in a few days, I can't help nobody. In a few days, she went ahead and she had a child. Of course, she went 9 months. And then when she got the baby, by the name of Samuel, she took him to church. The Bible said when he came with the age of weeks, which is about 8 weeks to 10 weeks or 2 months, took the baby in there and left him at church. Now, why would I wait for a baby to have a baby and drop him off at the fire station? Why would I do that? Because she knew Samuel was going to touch somebody. You hear me? Samuel ended up being the one that talked to Saul, went through there, and he became a judge. He was the last judge. The judge of what? The judge of Israel. He was a judge that told people stuff. That's touching people. You know, talking to people and telling them what's right, that's touching people. That's what they call the new word, the new preacher says, poured into your life. So he's touching somebody. When you feel somebody with some word and you give them a good word, I don't mean Thunderbird, I mean a good word.
What's the word?
You feel they come and run over. They may not get it today. Well, how you know that? Well, Peter is probably, thank you, Lord, he's a prime example of that. Remember, he said, Lord, I'll never leave you. I'll never deny you. Oh, no. Jesus said, wait a minute, homeboy. Check this out. Before the cock crows 3 times, you'll deny me. No, I won't. Well, all of us have done that. No. Everybody say, no, I won't. Yeah, and as soon as you get down the road, you found yourself doing just that. The Bible said while he was in the inner court. Look at here, Jesus going from judgment hall to judgment hall. He said, go-for-the-doo, go-for-the-doo, go. And he said he dropped his head in shame. Because he heard the word from the Lord and it come to pass. So touching people is also telling people the truth. My God. Like we tell our kids, use your words. Yeah. Use your words. This little boy, one of the places I manage down here, he walked on the kitchen table. I said, hey, get off the table. She said, well, you got all to do it. I said, not here. She said, why? I said, because when you finally get to your permanent house, you can't walk on nobody else's furniture. As a matter of fact, this ain't yours, it's mine. And I said, even when you get to it, you want to train the child up the way it should go. So now when he gets to the table, I say, excuse me. And he backed down. He said, down. I said, see that? I said, now you can go to the Norms and eat. Now you can go on Denny's and eat. My granddaughter, I got one. We took her in there, that girl slid out that car seat so fast, she got straight and slipped on out. I know she was running down the street. I said, hey! She said, what? Hey, she's running. The more you chased her, she just fell out. So I took her mother said, she gonna hurt herself. I said, no, she ain't. I said, do it the way I get taught you. She said, what, let her fall out and don't catch it. So he used to fall out, and I'd go run and catch it. I'd run across, catch it. And one day I missed it. Bam! She hit concrete, she ain't fell out no more. 36 years old, you ain't fell out no more, right? So lifelong lessons is what we're looking at. Lifelong lessons. Some things you have bumps in the road, but you have to make sure you stay in people's lives. So tonight, we're going to look at what is a salted Christian. Someone read on page 2, that alphabet A. Mosetta, thank you.
In the Bible,
no, where you at there? On page 2. On page 2, on the 2 of 3. Oh, okay.
Are you at the top?
No, I said, what is a salted Christian?
In the Bible, it says A. He saw you on the video.
No, you're on $2. No, I'm on 2. Right there. Hey, you know somebody with all your people. Been out of a beat. Go ahead. Okay, thank you.
And the church was sometime who is a mob, a peacemaker, someone who influences others in positive ways according to biblical standards.
Right. Now read the verse first so we can connect it together. Read that verse about the salt. Read about the salt. Over in Matthew chapter 5, verse 13. He said, you are what? You are. A declaration. You are. Now you might be. Now you could be. But he said what? You are the salt of the earth. Right, stop right there. So therefore, a mature Christian is a salty Christian. Right? So now a mature Christian is someone who is a model, a role model, that walks around and let the salt shine. Let the salt shake off and let them touch other people. That's the person that exudes Jesus Christ in their life, that shows Jesus Christ in life. The next person's coming up, we get down there, it's going to be light. But what is a salty Christian? It's a mature Christian. Because it tells us if we are salt and we don't touch something, we're good for nothing. Because salt has to touch something in order for it to bring out the best of somebody else's life. So it ain't about you.
That's right.
It ain't about you. When you touch somebody, then you bring out what's in them to make them better. Again, we bring up the meat. Hey, sir. So we bring out about the meat. We bring up about the meat. The meat is what? The meat has already been prepared. Thank you, sir. The meat has already been prepared, but what happens? The salt again brings it out. Salt is a preserver. We're preservers of the world. We bring out the best of other people. If I give Doris a hug right now, she'll jump in the moon. But if I give a sinner man a hug, he'll go to heaven. So what's more important? To put my salt with her salt and make it salty? Or should I go out and help somebody? He wasn't talking about us fellowship. Because we have a lot of fellowshipping together as it is now. Right or wrong, don't we? A lot of fellowship we have. We have a lot of fellowship on page, the other 2 or 3. We have a lot of fellowship on the next page, on the other. On the other side. So we have a lot of fellowship already, but the mature person is someone that models being a Christian. Don't you know the way you act influence somebody else? There are a lot of people gonna miss heaven and get in trouble with God because people believe that they can act up, not act like Christians, and somebody else fall. Now who's responsible? The Bible said if you offend your brother, don't eat it around him. Why is that? Because he hasn't not got to the place back then they were choosing whether they should eat the meat, the sacrifice, they were sacrificing the sacrifice. Some want to eat it, some want to cook it, some want to throw it away. So therefore he says, so since it's not really a sin, so therefore when you out there, be mindful of the fact that I might have a little weak person behind me. Aren't you not supposed to eat in church? Like AJ said, you shouldn't be drinking that coffee in church. And you get to going off. Why, God, I don't want to drink coffee. And there's some little fellow over here that really admired you. That really like coming to church. My grandkids, they nothing but sponges. They do everything you say. They do everything. No, they do what you do, not what you say. They do what you do. They play church, they play drums, they play tambourine, they think they can preach. The boy came to me 2 weeks ago and said, I'm going to pray for you right now in Jesus' name. I said, come on. Come on. All right. He said, I said enough of that beat, by the way. Right? Jason, he does what he sees his grandfathers do, because both sides of his family are preachers, and his great-grandfathers are preachers. He's got all these people, so they do, so the modeling part is really important. The modeling part is important. Part is important. Do you think so, Brother Thompson? Yes, sir. It's really important. So we got to be real careful that our imperfections are not going on our shoulder. Our imperfections. So we got to do that because people are watching us, and then we should be that light. And also we're pace setters. What does that mean? Pace setters. And we set the trail for other people to follow. We're pace setters. So since Doug is here, and I want to play the piano, what better person to learn from? So Gwen, can you play the piano? You can? Okay, good. I waste my time. Maurice, can you play the piano? Now, if I went over to Doris, I might give me some notes, right? Because Doris plays the piano. So she'll be a pace setter for me, so I'll learn how to play the 81 keys. The black and the white. 81 of them? 88 keys. That's, see, I ain't play. See, I didn't go to class. That's what I'm saying. So I would learn first how many keys they are. How many black, how many white. I learned the treble, the bass, and that one in the middle, I guess I call it neutral. I don't know what it is. But people, I took the piano lesson one time, and I wanted to get to the shouting part. I didn't want to learn all the A, B, and C that Mary had. I don't care what Mary had. I want to get to the Holy Ghost. She said that it's some fundamentals we have to learn. Right. Placing your fingers, and also I learned from another guy, you got to learn how to play in between the keys. And learn how to modulate when people move. I learned. You got to learn how to move it. And some people can't move it. They leave you right here, and you're trying to go a little higher, they leave you right there. You know, you play a song. So that's what you learn. Pacemakers are people that said, I can teach somebody else. Did you hear me? Pacemakers are trailblazers. They call them movers and shakers in the world. Movers and shakers, people that make difference in other people's lives, and also make room for other people to come. So if I want to go to Doris and play, and I go to Brother Doug and play, I'd be all right by Monday. Y'all can hire me and pay me $200 a week. Don't do that, Tabby. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna be a fast learner. Right, baby. So you know already that a few days ain't gonna do it. You know, right? Not where I'm trying to go. Right. I might know B, C, D, E, F. I say G, H, I, J. It stops at G, doesn't it? It ain't no H on it. But I said the H on it. Why is that? Because I didn't go to the right place. So pace setters are people that pace and that are trailblazers. And then not only that, we have someone who influences others in positive ways, according to the Bible standard. Whoa! According to whose standard?
The Bible
No,
standard.
Grimm's philosophy. What's the Bible standard? Read your Bible. Today I went to a meeting, several meetings, and then she said, what I want to do, I want to have a training, but I want to carve out the standards in which how we operate as a homeless shelter. So, and we're going to take that model into all the ones that I manage, which is 5, now going on 6. She said, so I want everyone to know the same thing. I just left Santa Monica just now. So I brought what I call the GERT note from where I come from. It's called Goal, Intervention, Response, and Plan. People been writing notes, pages upon pages, and never get to the point. So clinical note is GERT. So you know your goal. Every time you go there, you set goals, you follow goals. Your intervention is what you do. Your response is how they respond to your intervention, wanting to go. And the plan is what do I do next? I will continue this goal until they get it. If they're getting license, driver license, they're getting social security cards or whatever. So you have to influence individuals to all do the same thing. That's what the Bible does. It's kind of a Bible that says Eleanor Long only. It's not a Bible that says Wanda Small, Richmond Small, what's your name? Only. I said, Wanda only, I was going to call you. It's not a Bible like that, is it? Now you can put your name on it, but it ain't so, but you're not the writer. So what is he teaching us? I think about the DMV all the time. You know why? DMV will give you one book that everybody has to get a certain standard and level of testing to drive. Well, the one girl told me you don't have to have a license to drive, you have to have one to catch you. So never not told me that. But it's strange what they do. So why do they do that? Why do they give everybody the same information? One thing. Why? You know why?
So you can have the same rules for everybody.
There you go. Right, that's it. What it look like? I can't say that. What does it look like if we didn't get a book?
Oh.
And we just decided, like Mexico, they said, don't take your car over there. And you just do what you think is best. Get out of the way, Chromebook. They get out their car.
They do that now.
Right? What that look like? That's a collision course. That's like you ain't gonna make it across the street. Think about it. So he gives us, now if the state can think about giving you one book that everybody can follow at a certain age, you read it, and you pass to a certain level, they expect you to follow it. And what the Bible do? It is funny, they give it to the whole, all state of California, they give it to all of us. They don't give you a different version unless you drive a different vehicle. A truck or a motorcycle, they have a different test. But if you drive on a B class or a C class, whichever one it is, they give us a standard. Right? Now, here's the problem. Everybody say, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
People can pass the test and still can't drive. Right or wrong? I'm a witness. I'm a very disrespectful. I ride in the middle of 2 lanes. I do. I ride out. I drive slow. I look out the window. I talk on the phone. I lay back. Oh, okay. I drive 9 cars behind everybody else. And my wife said, "You are disrespectful." Be behind flashing lights. I said, "Well, go around." I didn't have no tickets when I was younger to cover this whole building. So now I live in far extreme. But what's the point? The point is that there's a standard. That there are information. It's all this information. Some of the information pertains to you personally, to your family, to your creator, to society. It tells you how to treat people, how to love people. Now, if you don't have the Spirit of God, you can't love nobody. Because your spirit, the human side of you mean, I'm gonna get you back. Right or wrong? As you know, some of y'all didn't have the Spirit, y'all got him back. You got the death certificate, right? Right, I got the blood on my knife to prove it, because we got back with the Spirit within. So all these things can be executed when we have the Spirit of God. So when you saw the earth, it's hard to perceive that I can touch somebody. You say, well, I ain't got no ministry. Yes, you do. Your whole life is a ministry. If you go to the coffee shop every day like old people do, they go sit there in one spot, they go to the same place all the time, and they go, you see the old men that hang around in the winters? Haven't you seen them? They sit there and they talk among themselves. But the blessing is that when you get out of the winters and go talk to somebody else. If you notice that, people congregate and churches look the same way. We look like a bunch of on Slauson. You go in there, it's the same 9 men sitting there for 10 years. They there. And they go in the shop. Go in there, you see them. They haven't gone there. They get a place, they hang out. It's a fellowship. I have a friend that goes to this church, I won't say it. She goes to church and she tells her husband she's going to church. And she asked him to go with her, asked him to go with her. He said, I'm going to my church. His church is down there at the brother house, drinking Heineken all night long. So he's going to church. He's going to his church. And so I always say, well, your husband said he had his church. People say, I'm going to the cross. Now, you know there's 2 crosses out there now. You got a white man and a green one.
Yeah.
Right? That's what the green one is. There's a marijuana in there. It sells it. The green cross. But there's a standard. My point is, it's a standard. So Jesus says to us, you are. And R is not saying you could be, you would be. When we grow up and we finally get in there, we learn how to do what? To skillfully learn the word. But then again, he's not saying go to Bible college. He didn't say you got to go to seminary. He said, you know what? Whatever love of God you got in your heart, tell somebody else about it. People don't want to hear no sermon. They don't want to hear it at 11 o'clock on Sunday. You sure don't want to hear it Monday at the gas station. Do they want to hear it? Come in and show you something. No, you tell them, hey, you know what? I love you. How you doing? I don't use that, but I always just say, hey, you all right? That's all I say. That's it. I'll be there an hour and a half. You all right? They go, nobody ever asked me that, sir. I said, all right. You all right? Yeah, my wife is so and so. Just be people that look like us. They not people begging. They just out there just kind of wandering around. Today I saw a man at the gas station yesterday. I got gas in my past here. And I know he knew me. And I knew him. But I wasn't talking. And he looked at me. He was saying, look. And I looked at him like that, and I kept looking.
Okay.
And we didn't say nothing. But every spirit knows the spirit. He was a preacher. That I knew, old time preacher. You know, just knowing people. But I gave him a smile, he gave one back, and I was like, yeah, check in. And our job, we call it check in. Before we do a meeting, we check in with people. Well, how you doing? How you doing? It's funny, at work, you can do all these wonderful icebreakers to get people to buy in and make them feel comfortable. But the Christians don't have no icebreakers. We gotta have some. We have icebreakers, you know what it is? Good morning.
That's right.
How you doing? And mean it. And mean it. So when you touch somebody, you should touch a person in a positive way. Also, modeling Christian virtues of true spirituality is crucial to effective ministry in the world. True spiritual what? Growth. Virtue. Jesus said when the woman touched him, virtue came out of his body. The power. So what would virtue mean, Doug? Virtue. Power. Yeah, the power coming out of him. He felt, now he had been touched by other people, but there was something about her touch. So we're supposed to touch, remember we talk about salt. Salt needs to be touching something. Touching somebody. Mosetta said the best way I can say it. She said the best I can't say it no better. She said, when you put salt on meat, it stop rotting. When you touch somebody, you stop them from rotting. Because you bring out of them. Right? With that touch, it brings it out. Salt left on the table is always going to lose its flavor. Salt that's idle. Jesus tells the man in the parable, why do you stand here idle? Go out and work, and I'll pay you when I come back. You know, they had an argument. You send somebody 11th hour, the 10th hour, the 5th, 5th hour, and 1 hour before it's over, you run the bell, and it pays everybody the same amount of money. You know what happened? They talk about, how come you pay him the same thing I pay? He said, hold on, it's mine again. I hired you for the job. The last crew was just standing there on the corner. You want to work? Yes, come on. I'll pay you. Now, they wasn't doing nothing. But I'll pay you. Isn't that straight? He'll bring you in and try to bless you. Then you argue about what he gave you. You ain't had that before you got here. And you might not have that one I leave. So he ain't like that. See, he's spirit. So he's not going to take it. He just look at you and say, wow, you don't understand the concept. You got to be busy. Jesus told him when he was 12 years old, right? When his mama lost Jesus, he wasn't lost, they were lost. And he said, I'm about my Father's business. I'm touching people. That's the job of us. We're supposed to give out that power. We're supposed to have that. We're supposed to give that Christian. And then also it says, without biblically and godly models, we are attached into a restless sea that can only be tossed in throws and hit in mud, fused in mud. Turn to Isaiah 57 and 20. Isaiah 57 and 20. Isaiah 57 and 20. Say it again. Read it again, River. 57 and 20. We're talking about salt now. Restless. Somebody read it, find it. Yeah. 57. 57 and 20.
And I keep version, it says, but the wicked are like tossing sea, which will not rest, whose waves swept the mere and mud.
Right, there you go. Somebody read another version of that. Somebody have something besides the NIV version?
I do, but the wicked are like the troubled sea when it cannot rest, whose waters cast up mire and dirt.
Right, no rest there, the wicked. No touching, no spirit, no life, no giving, no Bible, no godly model. People are just vacillating from one side to the next, looking for something. We got kids that are looking for something, don't they? They looking. We take another meeting we had on Broadway today. They were talking about the millennials and how they're having a problem of getting them out of these shelters. They won't go. They stay there. They overstay their state. They won't go. So I opened my big mouth. I said, so what if we create a forum for them to come in and tell us what they want? I said, they already know that we're saying that they don't have no training, that they don't have no skills, they don't have social skills. I said, so instead of us always beating them up, let's find out what their concept is. So I told the director, I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we give them a problem that we may have and tell them how to, ask them how to work it out? She said, good idea. I said, because they already know that they're going to tell you, we don't care about all that long church, we don't care about no long this. These kids are going to college and moving back home. They're leaving college and being homeless. Now they got this new thing that they're in college parking lot and homeless.
Wow.
Washing up in the bathroom and going to school. And they're hard to identify because they're going to school there and they don't want anybody to know it. So they're asking how do you recruit them. I said, well, if you go there and ask them, they're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you that, I don't have a place to live. Now the question I had in my mind, because I'm an older guy, why are you homeless and you're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old? But I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up because I don't know where they come from. So the thing about it, if you want to find out where a person is, let them tell you. Then meet them where they are is our philosophy. And that's what Christians ought to be doing. We should find out where you are. So where are you at? I'm just gonna say it, okay? So why you say it? Because my sister so-and-so, or my Christian, or my pastor, usually it's always pastor, because my pastor, because I don't understand it. I don't understand that. Well, if you can go to the Bible, you would help this person get out of this state of being tossed and fro. You give direction. You give them some ground. It's called grounding. You ground individuals. Isn't it wonderful writing that you're grounded now?
Yeah.
That you don't do it right all the time, but you kind of know where you should be.
Yeah.
And you feel when you're out of water, like a fish out of water. Anybody hear what I'm talking about? When you really feel like, I don't mean miss Sunday school. I don't mean miss church. I mean, within yourself, you need to know that you're okay in God. And you have that information, you have that. And sometimes we deviate from that, and yes, we will. But the wicked person, the person that won't hear from God, they're all over the place. They're searching for it. Because I believe that people know the truth when they see it. I may not. I know the light, I'm supposed to stop on the red light. I know I'm supposed to stop. And you do too. But how many accidents happen every day? I was in a hurry, but now you're going to that hospital, you ain't never gonna make it there on time. You might be going to the graveyard, you're not gonna make it on time. So if I have to share my information with you, I must go be late to work. So now if it takes 20 minutes, you go fuss me, you go cuss me out, tell me how wrong I am. People want to fight and get mad, they ain't gonna settle nothing. But what happens? Because people are just having accidents everywhere because they don't abide by the rules. But Christians, we are the salt of the earth, and we are supposed to model what's supposed to be correct according to the Bible. Not your philosophy, not your ideology, not what you heard. Because that's what happened. The old preacher would say, I heard you say. I heard, remember that AJ, you old enough. I heard you say. I heard. And they would just say, I heard. Take the rest of money. So we got happy about it, but we now need information. Because this world we live in, ladies and gentlemen, today is a different world. For me, it is. It is a strange world for me. Anybody here feel the same way? The people coming behind me in age and generation, they argue with you. They don't even care. They disconnected from you. You trying to threaten people,
whatever.
You be like, come on, give me some back, give me some life back. They don't have it. But again, so since we're salt, those are the people we shouldn't be touching. You shouldn't be scared of the wicked. Well, the wicked could be anybody. Could be your cousin, your mama, your sister. You talk to them, don't you? But what about the man on the street? The Spirit will lead you to the right person. He'll lead you to the right person. I'm telling you, he will. He will. I know you ride the bus all the time. Moses doesn't talk to everybody, but some people I know you hone in more than others. Or you listen, or you just give them a hug. You don't have to run over there and lay hands on them and speak in tongues and lay them down by the bus driver's feet and tell them, no, just be a light. Just be soft to them. Put something in there like pour into that person's life. And I believe this is the philosophy that Jesus had. If everybody touched somebody, everybody would be better than what they are. It will feel like we have a self-worth, some value, right? You'll feel good about yourself. Look in the morning, I don't care if you ain't got all the money in the bank, you feel like I feel good, I'm alive, I have a purpose, I have a reason to be alive. And I save pennies. You know why? They make dollars. I went and got some coffee over here this morning and they threw up pennies back up there. I said, shoot, I still got it. I still got it. And I got a little bucket at home. I save every other year. I take them as $800 worth of corn. Because my kids still the money I ask them, right? Quarters and nickels and dimes, I save them. So it adds up. So when you touch somebody, it's going to add up. The Lord will bless you and keep you. So be mindful. Small little things make big differences in life. All right. So we're going to skip down to B. It said assaulted Christian. In the Bible, what qualities that led to an effective ministry are found in the elements of what? Number one, spiritual character. What is spiritual character? Your spirit part comes from the training from the Bible. The Spirit of God is in you. Then now you have to add to that. Now he'll give you the Spirit, but he'll talk to the Spirit. But you have to grow up the Spirit. The Spirit already knows. But for us to have this in our head, I always say our spirit, it needs to connect to our body. Like I always do counseling with domestic violence cases. The head and the heart need to connect. Then you'll make the right decision. But when you make I just love it. Or you like, well, I don't understand, I pay for so and so, but when they connect, it gives some reason. So what's in the middle of that? It's the Spirit. The Spirit will lead you into what? The Bible said all truth. So now you got to feed the Spirit. Because whatever dog barks the loudest is the one you listen to. Right? If you have two dogs here, and you fed one over here, you gave him one kibble and bit, and you fed him, you gave him two, she fed him a big old plate of food, and so which one is going to be the most healthiest one? The one eating the most. The one you feed the most. So I trust him where I trust that one. Because that one over there is living on a little bit of nothing. And then when decision time comes, so how do you draw from something that you don't have? You don't have enough of it. Enough of it. And then some situations going to happen in life that you never have in your life. Everything that you go through, you won't be able to find it in the Bible per se. But you'll know how to deal with it when you get there. The Spirit just said, hug that person. The Spirit might just say, just listen. The Spirit may say, buy that person a cup of coffee. How many times have you ever done that to people in the store? You just bought them something. I told you about that man that was over there stealing that Sunday. He stole about $8 worth of food. And I watched him walk through the whole store. I'm like, you're going to jail. I'm like, I ain't going over there now. They're going to catch you. What the Spirit told me to do, now you pay for it.
Pay for it, yeah.
I said, everything he got in his pocket, I'll pay for it. And I paid for it. So that's how Jesus do.
Right.
Y'all hear me now? I'll pay for that. Everything they did wrong, I'll pay. And I didn't do it for a reason. I mean, the Spirit just said pay for it. I had a couple dollars, and he was stealing food. He wasn't stealing no alcohol, liquor, he was hungry. And thanks be unto God, I never been hungry. I've been hungry before, only because I didn't eat. Not because we didn't have nothing. You understand? So I looked at him, I said, well, instead of me sizing him up and getting mad, I'm going to save him from going to jail. I'm going to pay for this for him to help him out. He said, thank you. I said, sir, don't wait your life. He said, what do I owe you? I said, stop stealing. He said, okay. And I don't know what happened ever since. But I didn't do it for the $8 blessing. I did it because I saw a need. Because I used to steal when I was a kid in the store. I'd eat everything in the store and walk out the store. I could have got caught. Could have went to the penitentiary over a honey bun, because I love honey bun. All around my face, honey bun. But the owner would go, don't come in no more. I come back. He walk around the store, he said,
Then I tell you.
get out of here. Right on 85th in the print shop, my store, Rexall. Go right there, Rouse, the Boys Market used to be down the street, go in there, eat all the food. I ain't steal the money, I eat all the food. Go get a couple grapes, go get me a honey bun, go get some milk. So what are you doing? You're actually needing some help. So then somebody came along, now you really got in trouble when I was older. The woman prayed for me and I got out of trouble. I'm like, wow, the Lord have people in places. You know what I'm saying? That help the wicked and the foolish, the unwise.
Yeah.
But your spirit has to be full enough to be able to know that you can help this person. Just one little word, one little touch. Jesus touched that, he touched the hem of his garment. He didn't touch his body, the hem. The hem. I'm talking about the hem. We ain't talking about touched his body. She touched him because her spirit was willing. She wanted to get healed. And so he allowed her to get healed. And he said, somebody touch me. Again, spirit character. Also in the character of the the character of Christ reproduces in us by the ministry of the Spirit. I just said it. It reproduces, it grows, and it keeps on going from glory to glory, to person. You're giving it away. You're actually giving that salt to somebody else. So when you flavor, thank you, Lord, when you flavor somebody else, they'll flavor somebody else. When you bring out the best in them and they have a testimony, then you'll bring that, so that person will run. Jesus healed 10 lepers. One came back and said, what? Thank you. And one came back. So don't worry about the odds. Don't worry about statistics. Don't worry about if they appreciate it. Just give it away. We always want to attach ourselves to what we hear. I gave them 2 days shoes. He ran around here wearing it. I ain't, man, look, shut up and give it away. You give it away. You give it to people, and the Lord bless you with 99 pairs of shoes, 200 weeds, and 500 diamond rings, and people give you stuff. You know, but you don't give it to get back, but you give it and get it back and give it away again. Y'all heard that? You don't give to get it back, but you get it back because He's going to multiply it. So you give it away again. So when you become a vessel, you better walk with me. When you become a vessel, you'll always keep something running through your house. You hear me? The widow woman's mirror barrels, I said, Sonny, didn't run over, but they didn't run out. Think about that. He said, give it to me. And out of her obedience, she ate every day until the famine was over. You know, that's not, the famine passed. She was right there. The famine was still going on, but I can make me some more biscuits. I can make me a cake. I can make me some flapjacks, some whole cakes. I can make some more stuff because I still got some meal left. Isn't that some barley? Isn't that turn out God does? Right. When you're soft, when you're mature, when you're touching people, it reproduces. It actually produces, let me tell you what, it doesn't produce always the same size, but it produces at the same time. Write that down. It doesn't always produce a big grapefruit, big old watermelon. Because we've been brainwashed to believe that it's always going to be bigger. It's not. Well, I lost my car. God must go have a bigger one for me. That ain't true. I done lost a million cars and been on the bus. It ain't always going to come back bigger.
Right.
You know, it doesn't. We think that. Well, God must have something better for you. But, yeah, he could have something better. And then he also could have some way to get your attention. He couldn't be saying, well, you know, I got a ministry for you and I want you to walk because you're going too fast. Understand? There's a purpose for that. But so you don't invest in him or in the spirit is for a return. When you're spirit driven, you don't look for it to come back. I don't. But I do respect when a sermon go out there, we all acquiesce to it. So I get upset and say, I don't see no results, Lord. I don't know. That's part of a congregation of people that are supposed to be growing. That's one of my errors. And I work on that like, okay, all right. Okay, but if somebody come along and say, you know what, Reverend, I heard your voice and I went on and did what you said do, and God bless me. You never know. You know why? Jesus said, if just one repent, what happens? Heaven have a party. Right? He said, heaven rejoices. Am I right or wrong? That's a party. He ain't sitting there going, I need 10. He said, ooh, I got one. Domino. Got it, right? He won that hanging. Why did he got one that they probably wouldn't have come? But when one comes. So it's about being spirit driven, about reproducing. Remember, the size is not what you're looking for. You're looking to touch somebody so they can grow. It's the same spirit. The Bible says that there's many gifts, but they come from what? The same spirit, which means they come from the same branch. You're not going to be able to live in an orange tree. It's going to be the spirit of God. It's going to produce that through us, and help us. And I think that what the problem is, a lot of us really don't think we can do it, and then the other side is that we really don't want to do it. I think that's facts. We don't want to. We're happy with our own little thing. But if God has invested in all of us and give us the word and allow us to grow, then don't be selfish to keep it. So coming up later on, and next week is about the light. You don't take your light and put it under a bushel. Right? What he's saying now, I gave you light. Tell somebody. When you go down there and you get your stockings and you get your nails, you get your stuff, your movies, when you're at work, let the light shine. And you don't have to make it shine. You gotta say, I'm a Christian. I don't tell you I'm a preacher, I don't tell them I'm a pastor, I don't tell them nothing. Somebody else you can tell. But I'm not trying to produce the gospel according to Graham, because I haven't got a gospel to give you. But my whole thing about it is the mere fact that you can shine where you are. And so on the other sheet, he talks about customs. He talks about your apparel, how you dress. He talks about, I found this online this morning. The clothing you wear, the language you speak, how you pray, the money, how you do your money, the music, how we go through life every day is your life. And be it known that it's not a secret who you are. You know that? Anybody here that got called out to be a Christian? They knew you had your light on. You know, you have your light on. And you should keep it on. When you get dull, polish it. When you find yourself sitting around and they can't tell you from the sinner, from the saint, or from an angel, when you can hang out with the hoodlums and they don't know one from the other, and you hanging out with no jam or no jam and he ain't no jam, and then you over there hanging out with them and they like, well, I thought you was a... Then you gotta check your life. Because we want to shine. We should be shining, am I right or wrong? Then our salt should be good. So, in closing, there's some more supporting scriptures there. It's almost 2 minutes to 8.